Now in control of Afghanistan once again. What does the future hold for that country?
Well, joining us now to talk about the developments in Afghanistan is author and professor Matteo Farzaneh, a history professor at Northeastern University. Professor, thank you for being with us tonight. I want to get your take on things here, but right now the focus is getting Americans and Afghan allies out of Afghanistan. How long is this chaos going to last, and how do you see it ending?
The problem with answering that question is multifold, but the most important part of it is we still don't know exactly how many Americans we have on the ground in Afghanistan and how many American allies, for example, translators and interpreters of Afghanistani nationals, we have to help out. The numbers vary anywhere from 5,000 to 15,000. And based on the latest numbers that I was looking at today, they so far have been able to evacuate over 9,000 Americans and refugees altogether. So because the information is not forthcoming as we would want it to, it's a difficult question to answer. At the same time, because the Taliban, the group that has now taken over Afghanistan, is controlling everything outside the airport, and the U.S. forces are only controlling the premises of the airport, no one can tell how the progress will go on from now on.
I want to ask you about al-Qaeda, because President Biden said again today that al-Qaeda is really no longer a threat, but there are also reports that the Taliban is providing cover for al-Qaeda. What's your assessment of the situation there?
Yeah, the al-Qaeda might be weakened, and we certainly got Osama bin Laden, and that calls for some kind of relief. But at the same time, the public should know that for every one single terrorist organization that is anti-American in its stance, there is many, many more waiting in the wings to fill in that objective, which is to attack the United States and to hurt Americans and American interests. So based on that, whether or not the Taliban will not allow the quote-unquote the al-Qaeda group that was headed by Osama bin Laden operate freely in the sovereign state of Afghanistan, there are many, many other groups, including ISIS, the Islamic State, that was active in Iraq and Syria, that many people have heard of them, and we've seen the kind of crimes that they commit against humanity. I'm unfortunately pessimistic about the president's statement that we're not going to have a problem with al-Qaeda per se, but that's just like saying we're not going to have a problem with this group of gangs anywhere in the urban life of the United States. There are many other gangs that would be hurtful towards the public as well.
And that has a lot of safety implications worldwide here. You say planning and reaction has been a failure for both the Trump and the Biden administrations. What do you feel that this has done to the United States in the eyes of the world?
I'm sorry, I didn't get your, you froze at the beginning, so I didn't get your full
I just wondered
question.
what you thought that this does in this, the standing of America in the eyes of the world, the way that the Trump and Biden administration has handled this, this dilemma.
Well, it's been a disaster from the beginning. Going back, we're almost upon this, the anniversary of September 11th, the tragic events that happened in 2001. Going into Afghanistan, many might argue was a mistake. Many might argue that it wasn't a mistake. We had to go after the al-Qaeda, understandably. But at the same time, the pullout, the withdrawal could have been much more organized and much more thought out. And with the Trump administration making a deal with the Taliban, which effectively is and or was, they might not be today, that's what they might say in public, but from what I'm hearing from other sources and other news agencies, is that Taliban is steadfast on its decision to have a very anti-American stance for its politics. They are celebrating the quote-unquote, what they say, the kicking out of the Americans from their state. So whether the Biden administration or the Trump administration could be blamed for the disaster that we're facing now, and I hope it doesn't get worse than this, but at the same time, the American foreign policy establishment will be hurt for years, because the gaining of the trust of people when we say we're there to help them with democracy and we're not going to leave them alone. You've heard this from Bush Jr. all the way to the current president of the United States. That kind of statement will not ring true for many, many people around the world.
Long history there. Professor Matteo Farzaneh, we're going to leave it there. Thank you very much for your perspective and your time tonight.
Thank you.
And you can read more in the professor's book, Professor Farzaneh's book, Iranian Women and Gender in the Iran-Iraq War. It's available at bookstores and online.